I've got a video for you today. It is my top 10 items for the Canon M6 Mark II, which I consider the perfect kit. If you get the Canon M6 Mark II, these are 10, in my opinion, must-have. First, because the Canon M6 has a flip-up screen, you need a rig, a cage, something that will fit and allow you to see that screen when you're vlogging, when you're trying to talk to the camera. So the first one that I got was the UUrig. I got this, the cage fits on it good. I have put on the bottom of the cage a Peak design, but you could use an Arca Swiss, and it still allows, because of this area here, the door to open. Now, with the Peak design, you could use an Arca Swiss that's a little skinnier, and you'll have no problems with the door. The Peak design, you have to figure out the right place to put it on the plate to make sure that it doesn't, you can still open the door. For me, it's a little tight, but I don't have to take the cage off. You do not want to have to take cages on and off. So that is one of the things that I did. Now I took this off and I have put on a different, I took the larger cage off as I had purchased a small rig adapter onto the bottom, which gives me a cold shoe on the bottom of it and on the side of it. You need at least one in order to do a microphone that's separate from the camera. And the microphone is pretty good on this. So of the number one item, get a cage or an adapter rig to give you a cold shoe to place microphones, a Rode Wireless Go, the receiver, so you could have transmitters going to it, and you can really get the full benefit of the microphone jack. So that's number one. Number two, while I have it in my hand, is get a external mic. And as you can see here, I have the Video Micro, and it works great. They make better ones, they make powerful ones, they make ones that have, you can record your sounds separately right in the unit to have a backup of the soundtrack. But this one here, it doesn't take a battery. You don't have to worry about charging it up. You plug it in, you go, it works. Now I have seen on a video where if you plug it in and you have some distance, like you put it in front of you and talk, it's even better. So the cord could be longer if you really want to set it up in a studio fashion like we have today. I actually have one that was a Video Micro that was made for an Apple phone, and that works great, and I've adapted it to have two of these video microphones for whatever camera I use. Not using it today. The third item, Peak design clip. Go with at least an Arca Swiss, but Peak design, here's the benefit. That's number three. Number four is the Peak design 6-liter bag. Works great for this kit. And if you get the plate and the camera clip, it attaches to backpacks, bags, and it's great because all you have to do, it can hitch onto the bag. So you have this looped around. It's not going to come off. It has a little lock mechanism that if you turn it, it can't come off. This just screws onto the bag, and when you unlock it and you push, it comes off. So, 6-liter bag. Now I do have the Peak Design 20-liter bag if you're deciding to bring a lot more gear than I'm going over today. Let's go through lenses. Not a Canon. Sigma 1.4 16 millimeter. I really like it. When I mount this to my arm that I use for these kind of shots using the Canon M6, all those other videos that you're looking at. It is the Sigma 1.4. It makes the camera big, but in a studio, an office, it's perfect. And I'm counting these as items. The next lens is the Canon M32. If you're not, you do know once you get away from 20 and above, it's very hard to do one of these and vlog. You need a shorter distance. The 22 is a reach. It's kind of like the Sony ZV-1. It's a 22. It's getting out there. You might not have a long enough arm, but the 22 is so sharp, you might not need the Sigma lens if you have the 22 and are got an arm or a tripod that you can put it just a little ways away. So the 22 is my next choice. Don't pass up on the Canon M32. The Canon M32, we're getting a little bigger, but this is a replacement for a 50mm lens. If you had a full sensor 50mm, the 32 is the equivalent. Now I did buy an adapter, a Canon adapter, and put my nifty 50 on it. Don't do it. Get the 32. When you put the adapter and you get the old lens on there, if you're using it for video, you're going to hear the motor zzz, zzz, back and forth. Hope you love my sound. Zzz, zzz. Get the 32. That'll replace a 50mm. It'll be kind of if you're on a trip and you're taking scenic shots, photographs, or even videos, and you're in like a national park, the 50mm, which is really the 32, this is a very fast lens. When you're talking 1.4, it's a fast lens. For those who are somewhat lazy, or you just want a little wiggle room when you're vlogging, the 11 to 22 M lens. The 11 to 22 M lens gives you a range so you can zoom it to where you want. The issue is it's not as fast as these other lenses, so in lower light it's not quite as good because it's pretty much a 4 to 5.6 aperture. Sometimes that doesn't matter. People don't want to have the blurry background, or it's not that important. It's a good vlogging lens. I think if you're on a budget and you want to pass on the 22 and maybe the Sigma, this might be the good first lens. That's actually what I did. I got this as a good first lens. I did find the others a little sharper, and for some reason I just gravitated to the sharper. Probably the one I missed was get an extra battery. Don't fool around, get an extra battery so you have two. So one can be charging while the other one's in the camera, vice versa. If you plan to use your M6 Mark II for zoom, get a dummy battery. So I'm going to just classify it as the battery, but a dummy battery off Amazon is inexpensive. Great way to go. So as you can see, if I just add the external mic onto the side and I plug it in to the microphone jack. Now I do have these Amazon Peak clips for whenever I want to have a strap, if that's important to you. I hardly ever use it. I would say don't really need it. I have not used it all that much, but I really do like Arca Swiss, so all of my tripods, monopods, camera arms with ball heads all have Arca Swiss, which the Peak Design fit, and Arca Swiss plates, which are really inexpensive to get. So let me do the countdown of the best kit. A Cage, a microphone. Lenses, and I went through the Sigma 16mm, the Canon 22mm, the Canon 32mm, all M lenses, and the Canon 11-22. From there, you need an extra battery and a good camera bag. I would go with the Peak Design 6-liter bag. They're comfortable, they kind of hug your body. It's hard to describe, but anybody who's had a lot of camera bags, for this kit, everything fits in it. And if you do the Peak Design mount, you can attach it to the side if you end up having to take something extra. You won't need the 10-liter bag. I hope you've enjoyed all of these items as to what I consider the top 10. I'm going to put a picture up with all of the items. And I've also done Amazon links to any one of those items that if you're interested, you can support my channel a little bit by using the Amazon links if you'd like. Thank you for watching, and I'm just going to show the entire kit right here that you probably saw in a preview. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like,